In this video, we're going to be doing 2 crock-pot meals with chicken. We're going to do a crock-pot lemon butter chicken thighs. That is so good. And also a crock-pot Tuscan garlic chicken thighs with spinach and sun-dried tomatoes. We're trying that tonight for the first time, and we're going to take you along with us. And just smelling it now is amazing. Just wonderful. So I can't wait to try this. Last night's supper, which is in this video, it was amazing. So stick around. I found these 2 wonderful recipes off of Eat Well 101. I'll leave the links to them in the description box down below. First on the menu is Tuscan garlic chicken thighs with spinach and sun-dried tomatoes. For this recipe, we're going to need 6 to 8 bone-in chicken thighs, skinless. I'm using about 2 tablespoons of butter and 1 whole bulb of homegrown garlic, or you can use 6 cloves of garlic, a cup of heavy whipping cream, a 1/3 cup of chicken stock, a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, a 1/2 cup of sun-dried tomatoes chopped, and 2 cups chopped and packed spinach, and salt and pepper to taste. Next, we need to prep our garlic and our cheese and our sun-dried tomatoes. So then we need a 1/2 cup of sun-dried tomatoes. I've never actually had sun-dried tomatoes before, so this might be interesting. I wish we could home preserve these, but anything in oil is canned will turn rancid. I don't think we want them too fine. Alright, I've taken 2 tablespoons of butter and I'm going to melt it in this pan over medium heat. Then we're going to add our minced garlic and heat that through for a minute. And you don't want this to burn. Then we're going to add our 1/3 cup of chicken stock. And our 1 cup of heavy cream. We're going to bring this to a gentle simmer and time that 10 minutes. Alright, while that's coming to a simmer, we're going to put our chicken in our crock pot here. I just love chicken thighs for crock pot meals. It doesn't seem to dry out as much as chicken breast. I decided to buy more chicken just so I have leftovers. So it's come to a good simmer, so I'm going to turn it back to low and time that 10 minutes. So then we're going to add our Italian seasoning, 1 tablespoon to the pot. Then add our black pepper. And salt. And since Parmesan cheese has a good amount of salt, we're going to make sure we don't put too much on. This is an 8.5 ounce jar, and I'm going to just put half of them in, so that might be a 1/2 cup there. That way we can get another recipe out of this. And another recipe said to add the oil from the tomatoes into the crock pot, but this one doesn't say that. Alright, so now we're just going to wait for our cream to thicken. Then we're going to grate the cheese. I'm trying to get lunch ready as I'm making this crock pot chicken thighs for supper. Then we're going to add our Parmesan to our sauce. Let that melt in. One time I tried to use bottled Parmesan cheese for Alfredo sauce on Christmas Eve for my then boyfriend, now husband. And let me tell you, that turned into a ball of rubber. And I'll never forget how I ruined Christmas Eve dinner for us. And you know, every place imaginable we shut down for Christmas Eve. I don't even know what we ended up doing, but I just laugh at it now, how far I've come in my cooking. So you want to make sure it's thickening, and boy it is. I better hurry up and get this in the crock pot before my husband comes in and wants to eat this now. I wish I had smell-o-vision, because this smells amazing. So we're just going to pour this sauce over the chicken. I'm going to get a rubber spoon and try to get the rest of this in there, because I don't want to waste that. So we're going to cook this on high for 4 hours. You can also cook it on low for 8 hours. But since it's already 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm going to cook it on high for 4 hours and then leave it go on low or warm until he gets home. We'll see you back at supper time. I had this on high for 4 hours. Then I put it on warm for the last 2 hours, I believe. Now the directions say to remove the chicken from the crock pot. I wish you could smell this. Now we want to turn this on high. I'm just going to estimate how much spinach I need. Just give it a rough chop, because I'm sure it will in the crock pot anyhow. And let's give this a good stir. And we'll just simply put the lid back on the crock pot and let the spinach wilt down, and hopefully husband will be home soon. The spinach is wilted and Howard's not home yet, so I'm gonna gently put this chicken back in to keep it warm. And we'll get his taste test when he gets home. Alright, Howard said he's going to be in shortly, so let's get this plated up for him. I chose to use egg noodles. The original recipe says you can use zoodles, but we don't have any zucchini on hand. And my husband needs all the carbs he can get because he works so hard. So, well, let's get some of this chicken and this sauce. I can't tell you how good this smells, let me tell you. Don't you want to add Parmesan cheese to it?
I don't know.
So it is a Tuscan garlic chicken thighs with spinach and sun-dried tomatoes.
It's good. Probably Mediterranean chicken.
But it doesn't have the peppers and the capers and all that.
Mm.
But you like it?
Mm-hmm.
This video is part of Crocktober, hosted by Jenny's Scratch Made Kitchen and Kettle Kitchen. And if you comment on this video and all the rest of the videos in this collaboration, will increase your chances of winning a crock pot at the end of the collaboration. I'll leave all the details down below in the description box, but it's time to start cooking. Next on the menu is CrockPot lemon garlic butter chicken thighs. The recipe calls for 6 to 8 boneless chicken thighs, skinless or with skin. A half a teaspoon of salt and pepper or to taste. A teaspoon each of onion and garlic powders. A teaspoon of Italian seasoning, 4 cloves of garlic, the juice and the zest of 1 lemon, a half a stick of butter, 1/3 cup of low sodium chicken broth, a half a teaspoon of paprika. I always wash my fruit before I cut into it, especially if I'm going to eat it. With cast iron skillet cooking, you always want to gradually heat up your skillet, so I have it piping hot before I add my chicken. I seared my chicken for about 4 minutes on both sides. I decided at the last second that I had to add farm dust to this. I just love this seasoning. It has kosher salt, sea salt, dried onion and garlic, black pepper, fennel, celery, and much more. And then I flipped my chicken over to get the other side seared off. Next, we're going to add our chicken to our crock pot. And get it in one layer. Then you want to zest your lemon. Then we're going to add our lemon zest to a bowl. Then we're going to juice our lemon. And if your lemon is on the drier side of being fresh, you want to pop it in the microwave for 30 seconds. Then roll it on your cutting board before you cut into it. Then we're going to add the juice to our mixing bowl. Then we're going to add a 1/3 cup of chicken stock to our bowl. Then the directions say for us to pour this over the chicken. Then into a small bowl, we're going to add a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of Italian seasonings, a half a teaspoon of paprika, a half a teaspoon of salt, and a little bit of fresh ground pepper. Then you want to whisk that to combine. I'm going to sprinkle that over the chicken. I minced my garlic and add it to the crock pot. Now the last thing to do is add a half stick of butter. And we're going to cook this on low for 8 hours. So I got a plate of broccoli here that we grew ourselves and a serving of mashed potatoes that we grew ourselves. Now let's get some of this chicken on here and see what he thinks. Make sure we get some of that broth that we cooked that in. We have lemon butter chicken over mashed potatoes.
Really good, tender.
That's good. If you've made it this far into the video, I'm sure you're loving the content of this channel. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram for more great content. May I suggest you watching this next? Take care and God bless, and see you in the next video.